first, thank you very much for this grant. It's been wonderful having this extra opportunity in the class to really get into some chemistry that we wouldn't have been able to get into safely earlier on with the equipment that we had. So we were granted money to get some very accurate scales. It says up there it's 120 gram readability to 0.001 grams. So that's the thousandth spot that it can read out to. And that helps us to do our investigations with less materials. So we're producing less waste. We're not subjecting students to as many chemicals as they're working in the lab because there's less for them to be working with. I have a picture. This is one of my students' groups experiment with a kinetics lab, and the kinetics lab is one of the ones that's required by IB. IB requires 40 hours of lab work for all of their students, and this was one that they designed an experiment and had to do something with the rate of the reaction or how fast the reaction goes, and they were limited to the amounts of chemicals that they could use. They could use either hydrochloric acid reacted with magnesium or calcium carbonate, and this is hydrochloric acid being poured in the second picture from a graduated cylinder into a beaker that already has the calcium carbonate in it. And we can see just in 5-second increments how the thousandth spot is getting less because it's producing carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide gas is releasing into the atmosphere. We weren't able to do this before. The equipment that we had was out to the 10th spot, so 0.1 was the best that it could do. This is going out to the 1000th spot, so we can go much more precise, and we can do a lot better precision. So I'm getting excited to do the chemistry, and I don't want to bore you all with the chemistry, but we can calculate the error, and the error in the values that they were using, they could only use 2 grams per trial of the calcium carbonate, so we limited them to that amount maximum. And with the error, that's only a 0.15% calculated error from the device. If we were to do that same experiment with that same error, we would have needed for each trial 333 grams of the calcium carbonate. Not a good thing to do. So we can't do that. So in past years, we limited them to 10 grams, but that gave them huge percentages of errors, which IB doesn't like, so that wasn't good. Plus, we were subjecting them to more chemicals. We were able to reduce the amount of hydrochloric acid that we use this year, which hydrochloric acid, if you don't know, is a skin and eye irritant, causes severe skin and eye burns if they're not careful, specific target organ toxicity as well, respiratory tract irritation, so on and so forth. So we reduced all of that, 1 liter of hydrochloric acid that we didn't have to use this year, which means less for the kids to potentially spill and damage themselves with, and 3.5 kilograms of material that we didn't need to use that we would have used in previous years, and 1 liter less of waste. So we are doing more. This is just one lab. We do 40 hours of lab. This was 3 hours of it, and other teachers have been using the scales as well, biology, IB Bio, the regular chemistry classes. I'll use them as well. That's all.